Yes. All right, man. It's your boy Bosscowboy. I got you, man. Good dub. But it's time to get down to business, alright? Because you know you got a lot of different types, you know? You get some people, they focus on film. You get some people that focus on X's and O's. And then it's my channel, where you focus on it all. Especially the politics. Because you gotta watch out for that. You gotta watch out for that. It's more than that chessboard. Y'all better hear me. It's more than that chessboard. You gotta keep your eyes open. So you know we gonna keep our eyes open. And when they talk, I'ma listen, as I should. And when I hear stuff, I'ma talk about it. You know, you just gotta make sure you want answers. You know, you gotta make sure you want answers. Cause today, we talking about it again because it came out. I've been listening. The Dallas Cowboys battle of bastards versus sons confirmed with Lamb versus Cooper. But this time it's actually good news because this time we might be smart versus we was very dumb with Cooper.
Yoga fire, yoga flame.
Very dumb. Yeah, we might be smart this time. Alright? And I'm hearing some stuff that sound like they trying to move in the direction of not being dumb. Yeah. Alright? So we gonna talk about it, man. Y'all sit back, let me get this plane together. Trust me, this gonna be worth it. We gonna measure this Kool-Aid today, baby. Sit back, enjoy the ride. Come on. Y'all come on in the house. I got you. I ain't gonna let you down. Choctaw in the Montana. Let's go. I see you. Let's go. I see you, Steve. Pete Walker, the truth, common sense. Aaron, Daisy. Let's go. Man, this the place to be, bro. This is the place to be. My boy said he about to win that Madden Super Bowl. Well, let's go then, dog. You gotta win it, dog. Let's go, man. Let's go, man. I got you, man. Boss Cowboy got you, family. My boy Nick Reed, man, it's good to see you, bro. Been a long time, bro. Been a long time, Nick. It's a good dude right there, man. Sometimes it's just good to see good people walk in the house. Yeah, come on in. All right, we're gonna talk about this Dallas Cowboys, cause you know, we gonna keep it real over here on Bosscowboy Sports. And I've been listening, and you know, the benefit of Bosscowboy Sports as a channel is people that been rocking know we do a good job of keeping up, you know? And it's important that you keep up because sometimes these receipts just continue to stack and stack and stack, right? And you have to keep up with it, right? My boy Truth MDP say, when you want truth, come to Bosscowboy Sports, man. I really appreciate that compliment and confidence because I really try to give that. I really try to give the truth for solutions. It's not about gossip. It's about
You want answers?
But when you come here, you got to also make sure
You can't handle the truth.
you got to make sure you can handle that truth, because obviously I'm happy for the win, but it's time to get down to business. And you really got to keep your eye on the real risks that can get in the way of us winning. And it's not talent. I was very happy with what we saw. I was very happy with what I saw with a lot of players. So my boy Steve said Amari choked on the onside kick, not exactly tearing it up after 2 games. Well, if that's all you judging them by is that onside kick, I guess you can say he choked. But if we actually judge his game, I would say he balled, because all of us would have took a 100-yard receiver right now in a touchdown with CeeDee Lamb. We would have took that right now. But hey, I'm not gonna argue about it. And this is, even though I'm gonna talk about Cooper, this is really not about Cooper. Y'all go see when I kind of break this down. This is not about Cooper. This is more so about our culture and keeping your eyes open for the risks that can hurt us from winning the championship. All right. And we have to be diligent about that. We have to be very focused about that. We have to be very attentive to what they're doing, because it's not the talent, and it hasn't been a talent for some time. It's not the talent. It's a lot of meddling that goes on from our front office. Okay. It's a lot of meddling, and we gonna kind of get into it. All right. So first, I'm gonna do a small recap. I'm gonna be real quick on that recap, and I'm gonna go right into the meat. It's not gonna even take me 3 minutes. It's not gonna take me 3 minutes. But I already talked about in the first, when I did this particular show on the Dallas Cowboys organization is an environment of bastards versus son. And I broke it down. Where you can see the differences between how the guys that are drafted are treated versus the guys that are free agents, right? And we use Avion Collins as an example, but we also looked at a lot of other different examples, right? Because when you come in on the outside, it don't matter how you ball, whether you Quinn or not, we gonna be like, hey, you wasn't one of us. We don't like to build that way. We like to build with our guys. We literally use the term our guys, which is, I'm being honest, that's crazy. How can a free agent sign to be with you, but then not be considered one of you? So when I went through this show, I used the analogy of Game of Thrones. So I'm gonna blow through it real quick. And I talked about the different types of houses on the Game of Thrones. There was the House of Martell, and they didn't believe in taking away the rights of their kids because they wasn't born of legitimate standards. If you was a Martell, you was a Martell, period. Whether you was born of a whore or born of a wife, you was considered the family. And they laughed at the rules of other houses because it was like, man, that's nonsense. Once you're in the family, you family. And there are certain teams that run their organization like that. That once you sign with them, you gonna be treated fairly. You gonna be treated with the same rights as the other kids. Period. Don't matter where you came from. You go get equal treatment just because you're in that organization. But then I talked about the Boltons, and this was one of the sons, Ramsey, right? And the Boltons in their house, they had something to where if you was born of illegitimate means or a bastard, right, born out of wedlock, you will be considered a Snow. That would be your last name. They would call you, like this guy's name was Ramsey Snow, because he was a bastard. He wasn't born of legitimate means, all right? But the difference is kind of like the Martells, and just hear me out because this got something to do with the Cowboys. Y'all just stay with me, all right? And then I'm going to get right into the meat. And then I'm going to take some calls, and then we go likely get up out of here. But this is important. Like the Martells, the Boltons, if you served honorably and you really strengthened the house, you could earn the name of a Bolton. So meaning, instead of being called Ramsey Snow, meaning you're not legitimate, you could finally get the full rights of being a son and name the son. But see, the Dallas Cowboys, we are more like on the show, the Starks. It is nothing you could do to ever get out of being considered illegitimate or not a son. It's nothing. It don't matter what your potential is. It don't matter how good you fought. It don't matter about how you strengthen that kingdom. None of that. If you was a bastard, you was a bastard. If you was a Snow, you was a Snow. And your last name was never go change. And that's how the Dallas Cowboys are. That's exactly how we are. So that's why you see the free agents treated, frankly, different. The free agents are treated straight up different. They are not treated like the draft choices. So even if you somebody as good as Amari Cooper was, you would have never got, and they would have never gave him 88. It was never on the menu because he was a bastard. All right. So I talked about that today. I was going to explain how it was confirmed with Lamb versus Cooper. So I had to get that background, right? And it was confirmed today. Since it came out today, I'm gonna talk about it today. And let's just weigh the evidence. So let's just listen to Stephen Jones as he talks about CeeDee Lamb. And I want y'all to listen real close. Here we go.
And then in terms of receiver, is this more what you'd hope for or envision for on CeeDee Lamb? The media's been tough on him. Obviously, you mentioned him last week.
And I do have the link in the description, so for fair use purposes. But listen.
This kind of what you would hope for, at least in week 2.
Absolutely. I mean, he's just you get him going early is important. Get him a few balls, get him in rhythm. And then I think we're going to continue to see, that CeeDee Lamb can be a really solid number one receiver in this league.
What did you say you was going to do, Steven? What did you say you was going to do?
Get him in rhythm.
You said get him the ball early and get him in rhythm.
You get him going early is important. Get him a few balls, get him in rhythm. And then I think we're going to continue to see, that CeeDee Lamb can be a really solid number one receiver in this league, and certainly be a great one for that matter. But and then Noah had a big game yesterday. Certainly, Gallup now has a chance to start working back in. Certainly possible for him to get to be up against the Giants this week. So this core, I think, is going to come together. And as I mentioned earlier, I think Tolbert's going to really start working into the mix, and kind of is the vision that we ultimately had for this receiving core, with certainly Semi and Houston being a part of that mix as well. So I think it's a good group that's only going to get better as people get healthier, and look forward to seeing how it comes together.
And
shout out to 105.3 The Fan. Thank y'all for the content, because I couldn't be talking about this without the Fan. I really do. I really appreciate it. But see, notice he knew exactly what to do to get his number one going. He was very thorough. It made sense what he said. They asked, what do you do? Right? Listen.
To get him going early is important. Get him a few balls, get him in rhythm. And
yeah, so you knew what to do with this particular number one. Let's look at the difference between when it was the bastard.
Back to the decision ahead on Amari, his usage, not just production, but in terms of how often he was targeted, even when he was on the field, it was down. What do you make of his relative lack of involvement, especially for someone who's got the contract of a number one wide receiver?
I just think it's an offensive philosophy.
So when it came down to Amari, we couldn't get him the ball because it wasn't our philosophy. We're dumb. We don't know how to feed number ones.
Yoga fire.
We're just, he just, because of our system, he didn't get the ball. You know, it's our offensive philosophy. It's our philosophy. But when it comes down to CeeDee Lamb, you know exactly what to do, don't you? You know exactly what to do. Yeah. When it comes to your son, when it comes to a guy that was drafted, not a free agent, a guy that you traded for. Yeah, you know how to get him going. You got a vision for him. But for the other guy, we couldn't do nothing. You know, it's just our system. It's just what it is. It's nothing we can do.
Back to the decision ahead on Amari, his usage, not just production, but in terms of how often he was targeted, even when he was on the field, it was down. What do you make of his relative lack of involvement, especially for someone who's got the contract of a number one wide receiver?
I just think it's.
All right, Steven. I like your comment. This is what Steven said. Steven said he's saying that from the view of someone that isn't involved in the play calling, boss perspectives. Oh man, I appreciate it, man. You really helped my perspective. So since you helped my perspective, Steven, let's listen to the guy who actually called the plays.
Amari talking to us last week expressed some frustration, just wanting to get the ball. Obviously, they all want the ball. Was there a concerted effort on your part to give him more opportunities than in previous games, or that's just the way it went?
I think certainly it's the way it went.
Oh, so that's the play caller. Is that the play caller, Steven? I just want to be sure. Is that the play caller? Because when the play caller was asked about Amari, you said perspective. So does that help with the perspective? Does that help? I'm just asking a question. Does that help? It should. Yeah, because see, this is why I said today, Kellen Moore and the front office getting on my nerves. Because from my perspective, maybe people see it different. But from the way I see it, it is way too much meddling going on in front office. Way too much. And there has been leaks of this for years. It's just now I'm doing a better job. I'm doing a better job of pointing to it and showing evidence of it. So with one guy, you know exactly what to do. Hey, let's feed him. Let's get him involved early. Now, this is the sad part, and this is why I do not like Kellen Moore. Because I know he's a Trojan horse. Because in this particular interview, y'all hear me out. In this particular interview, he says, surely it was not intentional that we gave Amari the ball. But see, I remembered the game. That interview was from the Washington Commanders game. And they targeted Amari in the first series. So we all know how football works. In terms of the first series, what do they do with the first plays in the first series? Can y'all put in the chat what that's called? Why do you think in this particular first series going against the Bengals, we ran the ball so much? Was that a coincidence? But what is it called? I want to see it in the chat. Was it called when they draw up the plays? When they draw out and they know exactly how they're getting ready to attack this defense, it's called a script. Yeah, it's scripted. So in that particular game versus the Commanders, they targeted Cooper, but then he came out and was like, we didn't do that on purpose. Oh, so you didn't target him in the first series on purpose in your script? Why would you say you not when you did? Yeah, because you a Trojan horse. And you know that they was trying to get rid of Amari. That's why I don't like Kellen Moore. I don't like Kellen Moore. I don't like no coach that's going to abandon what's common sense for the bidding of these wannabe coaches in front office. That's why I like Mike McCarthy, because at least Mike McCarthy is trying to do what's best for the team despite those Joneses. That's also why they likely trying to get rid of him, because they can't do what they want to do with him, but they can do exactly what they want to do with Kellen Moore. Yeah. So if he's saying, for instance, this year, because notice something. I want y'all to notice something. This year, they are going very hard to try to give Pollard and Zeke equal reps. Yeah. They going very hard to do that. Even though it was clear, even from game one, that you got a difference in the two, which is obvious in running styles. But there's also a difference in one being a complete back and the other not. If you're not a complete back, you shouldn't be treated like a complete back. If you're not a real 3-down back, you shouldn't be treated that way. So why are they trying to now give them both equal reps? Hey, I got my suspicion of what the Trojan horse is doing. Because if you give them equal reps, you can devalue both of them.
Yoga fire.
Yeah, because you don't want to pay neither one. One already paid, but you want to take his production down, in my opinion, just like you did with Amari Cooper. Because, see, you can see all of a sudden Stephen Jones, he didn't know what to do with a number one when it wasn't his number one. He didn't know what to do. That's why I said talking about Amari is not about Amari. We got to look at the current team, and we can't fall for the traps. We can't fall for the traps based on how they move. Because this is not about Amari. I'm using Amari in this example, but this culture is embedded in the Cowboys. So let's listen to Mike McCarthy. Let's just listen to Mike McCarthy last year lobbying for Amari and the run game. And this, what I'm getting ready to show y'all, was from the second half of the season. Listen.
Every play. So you have to make him successful. And, you know, obviously the starting point of that is the run game. We run the football not only for the quarterback, we run the football for our whole team. Our whole team benefits from running the football.
So this was Mike McCarthy last year. This was Mike McCarthy last year talking about running the ball. Now, I told people on a video that I just did today, yeah, we won the game. And I'm happy. I really am. Sound the alarm. Clap it up. Clap it up. I mean it. Clap it up. I'm very happy for the W. I'm happy for the W. At the same time, we would be foolish to just put our heads in the sand and trust them blindly. No, sir. Bad idea. With this front office, you got to keep your eyes open, because think about it. When he was just lobbying to run the ball, remember Kellen Moore abandoned running the ball after the first 7 games. He abandoned it. See, when we was leading the league in rush attempts, hear me out. We was leading the league in rushing attempts when we was 6-1. And then people start saying, what happened the last 8 games of the season? We stopped running the ball. Yeah. Yeah. The moment we beat New England by passing, that opened it up for Kellen Moore and Stephen Jones to try to go back to that system of no identity offense. So this is and this is the deal. All of us should know what our identity should be by now. Yeah, Keystone, yes, that did include the playoffs. Yes, sir. We all should know. Cause see, maybe we could have had some fights back in the day. Me and Coach Marv debated this. West Coast and I debated this. Back in the day, when I know we had 3 stud receivers, I was like, bro, we need to be adaptable. Period. If they got a weak secondary, air them out. See, no. See, we don't have that now. It's clear where your talent is now. Your talent is clearly in the backfield and with CD Lamb. Your talent on offense is clearly in the backfield. Your team should be built. Now, no ID is super dumb.
Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
Super dumb. Because now it's obvious where your talent is. And yet, Kellen Moore, because of Stephen Jones, will go away from what worked. And y'all say, no, they wouldn't do that, boss. Yeah, they would. They did it last year. We was 6-1 running the ball, and all of a sudden, Kellen Moore got real dumb.
Yoga fire.
And if you watch that game closely, even Sunday, he got dumb in the second half. Why wasn't he dumb in the first half? Yeah. You know why he wasn't dumb in the first half? Because somebody tied his hands. I believe this. I believe Mike McCarthy, doing his job, scripted his plays. Yeah. So let's just listen to Mike McCarthy. But listen to Mike McCarthy first. Just listen. Then I'm going to paint all this out. Listen to this.
So then that comes to the passing game. So, and don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Amari Cooper is very, very important to our success as an offense. There's no question about that. But, there's a big picture approach. So the numbers, he missed a couple games. There's other factors that go into it. And that's why, once again, the numbers aren't probably exactly what we'd like them to be, but they're not far from being what they could be. So I think the truth is somewhere in between there, and that's why you just continue to work. At the end of the day, we got a great opportunity here to go undefeated in our division, get to 12 wins, and then from that we're going to close that door in the regular season, and we're going to take everything into the.
So you could tell, based on how he talking, that this was the end of the season. That's why we said we go close this out with 12 wins. So obviously right here, this is right around where we had 11 wins. That's what I'm telling you. This was right after we beat the snot out of the Commanders. But listen.
The playoff contest, and that's, so what does that mean as far as more targets for Amari? I hope so.
Oh my God. Your head coach got to literally say, I hope we target him. Why would he say, I hope? Why can't he just be like, we getting ready to? Because he don't got control. Listen.
But there's more factors into that. I mean, I get excited every time the ball goes to Amari. I love it when the crowd goes, you hear Coop.
That's a damn shame right there. I hope so. I hope he get the targets. I hope he do. I mean, but I don't control that. Somebody else controls that. The Trojan horse controls that. I don't control that. The guy that's controlled by them Joneses, he's the one that determines if what I want to see is going to happen. Yeah. Because, some people say, boss, you're crazy. No, I ain't crazy. Let's kind of review this again. let's review this again. See, because you gotta stay diligent. If you're trying to win, you gotta be very observant. You can't just sit back, bruh. You can't just sit back and trust them. See, listen, bro. My 4th grade teacher, Miss Douglas, used to always say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Like, what kind of fans would we be if we didn't learn to watch these guys closely? They can have all the talent in the world, but once they get caught up in this bastard son treatment, they mix it metal and mess up their own success. I ain't lying, telling you the truth. So listen, this is last week. Listen.
A lot of great questions today, but this is my favorite. So we get to talk a little ball here. But no, I've never been a big option route thrower.
And he talking about Kellen Moore. So some people trying to figure out, why did we win? Why did we come out running the ball? He had to allow Kellen Moore's system to fall flat on his face, which then gave him the political room to speak out on it. Because just like we showed last year, I hope so. See, now we trying to watch Mike McCarthy fight for the power he should already have. Listen.
Your concept in the past.
And see, the media pissed me off right here. Now he talking concept football, and he perked up for this question, and they start laughing. I'm gonna be honest, man. You need more YouTubers in the You need more YouTubers in the media.
Yoga fire.
The only person that was on his A game in that room was Michael Gelkin. Because Michael Gelkin was the one who started that fire question. Michael Gelkin is one of the last pure journalists left. That's why why do you think I'm always referring to Michael Gelkin? Because it's not too many of them that's not controlled or that don't fear the power of the Joneses. You have to be super secure in your job. You can't be no yes man. You can't be no water carrier. You can't be no, hey, I kiss your boot for an exclusive, sir. Sir, if you give me the next exclusive, the next time you need a hit job, I do it, boss.
Yoga fire.
The next time you want to devalue Dak or Zeke who, and you need somebody to give you the exclusive, I do it.
We got McCarthy in stereo.
Yeah, it's a little weird hearing your voice. But
I swear to God,
no,
that
but
pissed me off.
to answer your question, option routes take a lot of time. And option, if you're in a traditional West Coast offense.
Now, he literally talking about Kellen Moore's system, and they don't get it. They send him he talking about the meat of the problem. And the only person who understood this was Michael Gelkin. And look at him. Mike McCarthy is having to fight through the distraction of media laughing as he's talking about the root of his system versus Kellen Moore's system. He literally saying, I never liked this system that the Trojan horse been running.
It's, I tell you, we need to win this week because this is good. This thing's turning into a zoo in here. But
straight zoo. It's pathetic. Have some respect.
Yeah. But option routes. So
he trying to. Oh my God.
They take a lot of time, Michael. Yeah. No. Definitely.
Look who we had to address. It take a lot of time, Michael. Because everybody else not taking it serious. So he had to go right back to the only journalist that's taking it very serious. Mike, they laughing, so let me talk to you. Man, this some bull.
Yoga fire.
If you're going to run option routes, you need to live in that world. That's been my experience. You can't dab on it. Option routes are really not part of the old traditional West Coast offense.
And remember, Mike McCarthy was saying in the offseason that he wanted to run a West Coast system and use CeeDee Lamb in a Jerry Rice role. So he making it clear, and it's not going to be no follow-up, that my system is different than this guy's system. And then his leaks out there like, he don't know the offense. He don't know the offense. That's why I ask people, I say, do he sound dumb to you? Does he sound like a dummy when you listen to him? I never in my life heard a fool when this man speaks. Now, maybe he might lose and mess up on clock management and stuff like that. Okay, I rock with you on that. I'm cool. If y'all mad at him for that, hey, I understand. And I see y'all super chats. I'm storing them away. I'm gonna come back to them. I see y'all super chats. But now this man not dumb. Oh, he don't know the plays. He don't know the plays. Bro, get out of here, bro.
I've had quarterbacks in the past that didn't really like them, and it's really about the connection that they have with the receiver.
Yeah, he says it's about the connection. So what is he talking about when he says it's about the connection with the receiver? He clearly talking about matchup football. He talking about, hey, Cooper, beat that guy. Let's do what we've been working on in my backyard. Hit him with your best post route. I got you. See, he don't like these option routes. That's been figured out.
Been in systems where only certain guys run them.
Yeah, he said, I've been in systems where only certain guys run option routes. But listen,
this is the most aggressive system that I've been in.
Yeah, Kellen Moore's system is the most aggressive option route system that he's ever been in.
As far as many people that do run the option routes.
Yeah, so why do y'all think Tolbert is struggling to catch on? Why do you think? Why do you think a guy that was a dog struggling? Because you got to come into this system knowing how to read a defense, and everybody got to be on the same page. That's why Schultz was cooking, because Schultz and Dak was with each other so long, right? And they start seeing the same things. He became his go-to guy.
And so I think you see our commitment to practice. We practice it.
Yeah. So check this out, because it gets worse. And I'm just breaking this down. Stay with me.
Had the Jerry Rice list and John Taylor, and those that is carried forward for generations.
He say, boy, I tell you what, bro, the media, y'all, let me hit this button. Media, real talk, y'all, that day was trash. Y'all was trash that day. I guess, I mean, maybe y'all should have started off as YouTubers, to where initially, before you start getting some real money in this game, you go do a lot of work for free, dog. It better be pure passion, because your initial days of doing a YouTuber, it's gonna take you a while before you see you a stack.
Bruh. Finish him.
It's gonna take you a little while. Yeah, a lot of my brothers that's in this game, yeah, they doing much better. But initially, yeah. So that's the problem with these journalists. Some of them didn't pay their dues. And it's obvious because y'all taking the job for granted. What happened to having pride in getting the story?
Bruh. Finish him.
What happened? Except Gelkin. I agree. Gelkin is almost him and Kevin Gray. I would even add in Clarence Hill. Clarence Hill Clarence Hill, I saw him go hard, go strong, but it's not too many left. And one of the best, Jane Slater, you notice she ain't talking as much? She used to go in there. Why she not going hard no more? Listen. And somebody said Patrick Walker. I haven't heard Patrick Walker ask no hard questions. Just being honest. I just haven't. He's smart. He know ball. I'm just being honest. I have not yet heard him. Maybe I didn't hear it. Maybe he did. I'm just saying from my ears, the person that be bringing that funk, asking them real hard questions, be Michael Gehlken. And he does it professional. He does it with no attitude. He's not coming across like he's trying to upstage the intelligence of Jerry and Steven. He just asks the journalistic questions. Remember who was the one who asked about, is it always wise to take what the defense give you because you allowing them to dictate? That was Michael Gehlken. Remember who was the guy who asked about the targets of Amari? That was Michael Gehlken. Who was the guy last week that asked these smart questions? That was Michael Gehlken. Who else? I'm just being honest. I haven't heard nobody else really asking real smart football questions that could also help this team. I'm just being honest. Now, if I heard somebody do it, I give them credit for it. But I'm just being honest. I ain't heard it. And I'm going to be all the way honest with y'all. We all know the environment of Dallas. We know it. We know them Joneses want to control the narrative. And if you're a journalist, you also know that. So if you're trying to keep your job, you tiptoe. You tiptoe. You ask the most soft, frou-frou questions. But listen to Mike. Listen.
That's why you have more than 2 pages on your call sheet. If you look at call sheets, I never looked at the call sheet as a call sheet. I looked at it as a worksheet. When you work on it throughout the week, that's why it's 6 pages instead. You really use 2 during the game. But
oh yeah, so he don't know plays. He don't know plays. He don't know plays. Okay.
Those were the other categories. I know personally what I would carry on.
If it was you, what would you do? Huh? Can you say that again, Mike? Let me rewind it.
Those were the other categories. I know personally what I would carry on. Hey,
why can't you do it? Why can't you do it? If it was you, huh? Why you gotta say if it was you? You know why? Yeah, because of Trojan Horse Boy. You talking about Cowboy? No. You are handicapped because of Trojan Horse. And the only time we saw a glimpse of your vision was when you scripted him. Yeah, when you made him run the ball. The first 2 series. Y'all notice why that drive was so smooth? See, that drive was so smooth because the same guy who was saying that it helps your quarterback with running the ball, actually for the first time was able to tie Trojan Horse hands.
Make sure you get the ball to, CD. Make sure, here's the top 10 throws.
Hold on, say that again, Mike. Let me listen to you, Mike.
Those were the other categories. I know personally what I would carry on. Hey, make sure you get the ball to, CD. Make sure, here's the top 10 throws. You already have the plays on the call sheet, but, they're good reminders how you list.
And see, I said that. People was like, he don't know the plays. He don't know the plays. I already said, you ain't got to. Why you think they got the Waffle House sheet? You just got to know what you want to do and then read the terminology. Just like this. Wide X 22 55 banana 88. What does that mean? Play action, we go run a post to CD Lamb 88. So when you run a post, I ain't got to know the terminology. I just got to be able to read my sheet. But then you got people leaking to Brian Broaddus. He don't know the plays. What they trying to do? They trying to make him sound like he's stupid. And I'm not saying it's Brian Broaddus, but I'm sure saying his source is trash on that. How you gonna say a dude that won a Super Bowl and built his career as a play caller all of a sudden just a bum that don't know how to? And he laying out. What he trying to do? He trying to lobby on why he should be the play caller. That's what he really doing. That's why he's saying if it was me. Y'all heard him say if it was me. Y'all want to hear it again? Listen.
We really used to during the game, but those were the other categories. I know personally what I would carry on.
Oh, what would you do? Okay. So what he trying to do is say, hey man, if it was me, it wouldn't be no issue with. If I was looking and say, hey man, Zeke and Pollard, they don't have enough touches. We need to ramp that up. He's saying that what he would do is this. Let me go look at my Pollard list of plays. Let me look at my Zeke list of plays, and we getting ready to catch them up. But see, when your system is built on another man's brains, and where the talent is this guy, allegedly, then your ballers don't matter because we got the brain. And that's exactly what Michael Irvin warned about. Yeah. Let's listen.
Hey, make sure you get the ball to, CD. Make sure, here's the top 10 throws. You already have the plays on the call sheet. But, they're good reminders how you list, plays for Tony, plays for Zeke, plays for CD, plays for Dalton. So that's all part of the game plan process.
But see, this is good news to a degree in terms of our offense. Okay? Because when you listen, it can sound like bad news. But there is, FreeBigMike. Hashtag FreeBigMike. Hashtag FreeBigMike. That's what we need to roll with. Hashtag FreeBigMike.
Yoga fire.
Landlord started that. Landlord. But when it makes sense, I'm rocking with it. Just like I'm rocking with no ID. Once you making sense, I'm rocking with it. Everybody, when you share this one, it need to go with hashtag FreeBigMike. Free Mike McCarthy. For real. He need to be freed up. FreeBigMike, bro. Because Mike McCarthy, see, listen. I'm thankful that I can see this. I feel sorry for the fans who can't see this. Because how do we organize? How do we speak against what we can't see? How do we warn and sound an alarm when we don't see it? FreeBigMike. But see, I want to explain why this is good news. All right? To a degree. It's better news than last year. Now hear me out. I want y'all to hear me out. So, when we talking about the battle of the bastards, CD Lamb is a son. He not a bastard. Somebody say, let Mike cook. No. King, stick with it. Stick with it, bro. Stick with what we came up with. FreeBigMike. I like let Mike cook, but we got to organize around something. And that's the whole point of a hashtag, is to show the trend. All right. So the trend that I think we should get behind. See, y'all, I see y'all fighting on what's gonna be the rallying cry. So y'all let me know. Do y'all want to be let Big Mike cook, or do y'all want to be FreeBigMike? I say FreeBigMike. I say FreeBigMike. But if y'all want to go with let Big Mike cook, we gotta pick one thing though. We gotta pick one thing so that we can help it go viral by hashtagging it, trending it. All right. But this is why this is good news. All right. Because he's a son, they are looking for ways. They are looking for ways to get him the ball, versus they was looking for ways to not give Amari the ball. So the only thing that we honestly need, in my opinion, is for CeeDee Lamb to actually play like a number one. Because you can hear in Stephen Jones that he want his son to do well. And I'm going to take y'all super chats. I see it coming in. I'm not going to leave one behind. I'm saving every one of them. But he want his son to do well. Listen again.
Absolutely. I mean, he's just you know, you get him going early is important. Get him a few balls, get him in rhythm, and then
that's good news. See, the plan that they have for CeeDee Lamb is the plan that they should have had and vocally expressed openly. But they didn't do that. When they asked about Amari wanting the ball, it was different. It was a totally different message. What was the message? Listen.
Amari, talking to us last week, expressed some frustration, just wanting to get the ball. Obviously, they all want the ball. Was there a concerted effort on your part to give him more opportunities than in previous games, or that's just the way it went?
I think certainly it's the way it went.
That boy said certainly. Oh, we surely did not try to intentionally get him the ball. But when it comes down to your son, the message is just so different. See, you notice when it's a bastard versus a son, you notice the difference.
Him going early is important. Get him a few balls, get him in rhythm, and
oh yeah. See, boss, what we talking about the past though? Amari is gone. No. See, we can't be short-sighted like that, big dog. Why is it important to learn from the past? Could it be bastards on our team that could be getting the same treatment? Could it? Oh, that's why we got to keep up with this. Oh, because history can repeat itself. Oh, who was put in bubble wrap like he was a superstar? Who was out there having to play every preseason game like he had to earn it? Yeah, so what, boss? You're just complaining. No, that's why I told you we gotta watch for this. Yes, I'm happy for the W. I really am. I'm happy for it. Clap it up. Clap it up. I'm happy for the dub. But it would be very unwise if we took our eyes off the ways that front office move because of a couple of wins. See, because I want to remind you because, you know, people like to say this is not a channel for solutions. I think this is the #1 channel for solutions. I'm going to be honest with you. Hold on. Mickey, you right. You are right. Mickey say it's 118 people watching with 68 likes. Let's pause. Let's take us a like break real quick. Because I'm going to open up these phones. We're going to talk. Landlord, I see you in the building, big dog. What's up? Mickey, you started this, so let's get them likes up. Hey, and listen, I already understand. Some of y'all just need a reminder. So, but I want to keep talking about what I was talking about. I'm certain that this is a location and a channel that tries to turn over every stone that can risk us from winning. I really believe that. I'm going to try to look at anything that can prevent us from winning. Some people call it negative. I will wear that like a badge of honor. If what I'm doing right now, warning, is negative, cool. Because all of us felt the pain. All of us felt the pain from Tampa. All of us. But when we don't get serious about the real problems and talk about it loud and share this, then we risk it being played again. Because this was the key thing I was saying. And then I'm going to take these super chats and then I'm going to take some calls. This is the key thing that I'm saying. And I want y'all to hear me. If you ain't been listening, I want you to really listen now. If you cooking, if you playing with your daughter, if you're feeling on your husband, smooching and kissing, stop it. I want you to listen. Just for a second. Just for a second. All right? If you eating some food, running to the microwave, stop. Because what I'm getting ready to tell you is super real. When I was showing you the games that we was playing and Mike McCarthy talking about I hope so, how many wins did we have? How many wins? When Mike McCarthy said, I hope so. I hope we target. Steve say this better be good. It's good. Hear me out. Stevie crazy. He said this better be good. How many wins? See, I'm trying to see if y'all was paying attention. How many wins did we have when Mike McCarthy said what he said last year about wanting Amari to get the targets? Common sense, he got it. He got it. 11 wins. How many of y'all would be mad this year if we won 11 games? Be honest. Be honest. Nobody. We would all be cool with 11 to 12 wins. But yet, what hurt us more than anything and killed us in the playoffs was this battle of the no identity offense and these option routes versus Mike McCarthy. What's my point? If they threw away, listen, if they threw away a 12-win season trying to be right, we 1-1 right now. You telling me we shouldn't be locked in? We shouldn't be listening very close and watching really close to the politics? Yeah, that was my point. Now you can kiss on your wife. Now you can eat your sandwich. That was my point. They gambled and played with a 12-win season, stacked with talent. So that means we have to be even more greedy now for everybody that improves us. So guess what? It could come a point to where you need the key play by a particular guy that's more talented than the B player. And that don't mean Armstrong not good. But I honestly don't know what you're looking at if you're not saying Fowler is better. Some of y'all go say that, and I ain't mad at you if you do, because everybody sometimes see things different. But a majority of people should see it. Could it be, if we not watching the politics of this organization, where we might need a key tackle, and maybe the guy that should have been getting them reps at middle linebacker should have always been Harper over LVE? So let me take these super chats. Here we go. All right, so we got Common Sense. Common Sense, he said, then we go take some calls. He said, OG, the main thing I took from the game was how the moment Big Mike called out Kellen Moore, there was no aggressively taking what the defense gives us. Yep. When we scripted, it wasn't none of that. It was we running the ball. I don't care what y'all in. So Mickey said, Mike McCarthy not with the BS no more, and I'm here for it. I feel sorry for him. I ain't gonna even lie, Mickey. I do. I feel sorry for him. How you go give your OC more power than your head coach? Your OC literally had to say, I hope we target Amari. Your OC got to stand up there and say, if it was me, yup, and Blackwell, perfect. Boss, we abandoned the run yesterday in the second half. Yes, we did.
Yoga fire.
And what happened in the second half? That offense went from controlling the game to just like we ain't score no points with Tampa. It was the same thing. Trust Kellen Moore if you want to. I think I missed a super chat. Hold on, because I think Landlord gave me a super chat. Let me go back and find your super chat, then I'm gonna take some calls. I think Landlord, I'm gonna find your super chat, big dog. I'm gonna get to all of y'all. Y'all give me 1 second. Listen, we live. Hey, it ain't perfect. Y'all sit back for a little while. I'm trying to find my boy. Landlord, did you super chat, big dog? Because I could have swore you did. Hold on, let me see. I'm trying to find your super chat, big dog. Hold on. I know you did. I'm sorry, bro. Yeah. Y'all give me a second. I'm trying to get my boy super chat, man. Landlord, a cool dude. I'm trying to. When y'all throw money in Bosscowboy Sports, I'm gonna really try to get to it. All right. I don't see it, big dog. I'm almost at the end. I'm clicking through all this stuff. All right. I don't see it. I'm gonna look one more time, bro. Y'all just give me. All right, there you go. My boy Landlord, he's a cool dude. That boy threw some more money at it. He said, here you go. Bro, what's your comment, dog? You stupid. Oh, okay. He said he did super chat. Okay, I get it now. All right, so let's take some calls, y'all. We gonna take some calls. I was up here looking like that boy say, here you go. Chuck $2 at. Yeah, man. All right, here we go, man. We got the call lines open, man. Let's get it. You know, we can talk about whatever y'all want to. It's a freestyle. I ain't got the phones on yet. Don't start calling. I'm turning the phones on now. Here we go. Y'all give me a second to get these phones on. Then we're going to take some calls. We're going to sit back. Now, I'm very happy with the win. But the whole point of this show is we got to definitely stay diligent and keep our eyes open. We are in the season, so this is not a time for us to get slack and to be slothful. We got to be very attentive, because a lot of times what mess us up is front office moves. So we got to be very conscious of their moves. We got to be seeing, who did they put on bubble wrap? Who getting treated like a bastard right now? Who getting treated like a son? We got to be very observant. Bosscowboy Sports.
What's going on, boss? How you doing, brother?
What's up, coach?
Hey, man, you're right. This is how you make sure people don't rest on their laurels about this team and this craziness going on. Boss, I want to tell the Cowboy fans and how important this is. And I'm not sweating other teams. I know when I see good football, right? We better get our heads screwed on right. For this division, that team in green and white, the Giants are a much better team. Redskins are better. The Commanders are a better team. This division is not the lonely division anymore. So when we sitting around thinking that we don't have to do nothing because, we got the division sold up because listen, if we don't make the correct moves and use our players correctly, it can turn around bad. And I also want to say this. I watched the game last night. And let me tell you about this team. And this team has young receivers, lost their best receiver in free agency. Got very young receivers, didn't really turn out well with their receivers the first game, right?
Right.
So they came into this game, the next game, which was last night, and they committed to running the ball for almost 35 times, 18 times by one of their backs, 15 times by the other back. And they're great all-the-world quarterback through 19 passes, completed 19 passes for 250-some yards. He completed over 85% of his completions were off play-action passes. The game was very simple for him. He was having a good time, and they pounded a team into submission where they just cruised on to a very comfortable victory because they understood that their defense was good, and if they just ran the ball and controlled the time possession and play action pass to throw touchdown passes, they could dominate the game. The exact blueprint that the Green Bay Packers ran last night is the exact blueprint for the Dallas Cowboys to be successful.
Yep.
The exact team. We got the exact same type of team, but I think we got a better offensive line.
Yeah.
Two good running backs.
Yep.
They got Thunder and Lightning their running back. And Aaron Rodgers only threw to his veteran wide receivers. And they just scored points at will in the first half and cruised on to a very easy victory. We got the exact same type of team. We got probably just as good a defense, or probably better. They killed the time possession on Chicago, and they made Chicago they almost fold up and quit offensively because they were so out of sorts because they never had the ball, and the Green Bay Packers were committed to running the ball. They ran the ball 33 times at a clip of 5 yards a carry, and Aaron Rodgers threw the ball 25 times, and he completed 19, and 85% of his completions was off of play action.
Bruh.
Same blueprint we talk about. But they were committed to it the whole game. 33 carries, boss, by their running backs. 18 by Jones, 15 by Dillon. And don't you think we got two running backs that just as good as Dillon and Jones?
No doubt.
So and Jones caught 6 passes for a touchdown, and I think for another 50-some yards. You don't think Tony Pollard can't catch this? Listen, the blueprint is out there, but we think that, hey, we can't do that type of blueprint. I think we got a better offensive line. I think I know we got a better number one receiver. I think Lamb is better than any receiver that Green Bay got right now. We got the same. I think our running backs are better. I believe our offensive line is more powerful. Our defense is compatible. If that wins them 15 games a year, I would take that. Because I would take our chances against somebody after we have bruised up people. This is a. I don't even understand why the Cowboys. You know something? They committed. They committed to one thing.
Kellen Moore.
They committed to Kellen Moore.
Yep.
And when you committed to something, I think, boss, you always used to say about what it is, be loyal or be devoted, not to be at the end of your shows, right?
Yeah, I need to start saying it again.
This is the same thing.
Yep.
When you're committed to something, people, you are committed to it through hell and high water. If it works, you're not going to just beat your head against the wall, but you're going to be committed to making sure your team knows that this has to work for us to be successful. When you go around with no identity, you are just floundering. Your team flounders, and they don't know what they need to do to be successful. And when they don't know what they need to do to be successful, when they get off track, they don't know how to get back on track. Once they start doing something good, you don't change to something else. Once they feel like they're doing this good, you don't change to something else. And then the offense lose continuity. And then you get out here and then we rip our players because our players are confused about what do we do?
Yep. See, hold on real quick, Coach. Coach, let's talk about that real quick. See, because somebody said Zeke looked like he had an attitude and CeeDee Lamb looked like he was mad last week. Coach Moore, I've been warning about this for a year. Can you talk about your warning when you was talking about what it looks like when you start losing the team and they don't believe in you? Can you talk about that, Coach?
About when I say they losing the confidence in the offense?
Yep. And real quick, this comment right here, I appreciate this comment. He said, "For now on, Boss Cowboy, you are the breakdown king. Everybody known as something, you are the breakdown king." Honestly, that is my gift, and I appreciate that. I really do. I listen well, and I keep up with this stuff very well, and then I put it together well. I really appreciate that, and that is what I bring to the community. But go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, we talked about this last year when we started seeing some dysfunction in this offense, and we started seeing them get out of rhythm. And I saw that look on their faces and in their interviews that as a coach you don't like for your players to talk like when they're asking them what's going on, and everybody got this belittled look on their face saying, "Oh well, I don't know. We just gotta figure it out. We gotta figure out what we do." See, when they start asking questions like "we gotta figure it out," that means they don't know what they do best. So now they floundering.
Yep.
So, and when a team starts to flounder, and they start to like when we hear like Mark Cooper was tripping about he's not getting the ball, we have to understand something about players. When players feel that you're not using them in their best ways for them to be successful, and they feel that you don't know how to use them, or you're not listening to how to use them, and you're using them in a very unproductive way, they will turn you off, and then nothing you do will be correct, because as soon as you start doing something, they'll be just sitting over there and say, "Oh yeah, he's doing it for a little while, but we know he's gonna flip." I'm telling you, I was a player that said that, and I probably had some players that said that about me, because ain't no coach has coaches and players and nobody goes against them. But when players lose confidence, and don't y'all see that, Cowboy fans, when you see the frustration, you see guys walking off the field with their head down or throwing their hands up, or you see in the offensive interviews, everybody talking like, "Well, I don't know, they're talking real slow." But you don't hear that in the defense, do you?
Nope.
when they talk about the defense had a bad game against against the Raiders, guess what they said? We got to get back to a physical play. We got to get back to playing fast. They said we need to get back to what we do. And they didn't hesitate to say, this is our identity and this is what we do. Because they're bought in to what makes them good. And the coaches give them a clear example of what they need to do to be good. So if they ever go back and say it didn't work, go back to what we're supposed to do. Our offense doesn't have that identity, and that starts to cause dissension. And if it ever gets in your locker room that they don't trust the offensive coordinator or the people running the offense, the only way you can change that is new coaches.
I was listening to.
That's it.
I was listening
because you can't get it back. Because that's a trust. It's a trust between Dan Quinn, and I'm gonna say this right quick, boss. You always hear what Dan Quinn talks about, and the players say, "I trust the players, and the players trust me." It's a bilateral trust thing. They trust that Dan Quinn will put them in the right spots, and Dan Quinn trusts them to be able to figure out and do their job. So it's a trust thing going there. On the offense, I don't think Kellen Moore going to use me correctly. I may get 4 carries this game, but then again, I might get 12. I don't know. There's no target about how many carries I'm going to get. I might be in the game, like what Cooper said. I might be in the game plan this week. By Wednesday or next week, I ain't in the game plan. We might come out in the first half and run the ball well before we get to. They haven't even stopped it. Oh, we think we're gonna run the ball. We come out in the second half. Now we throwing the ball. So there is no trust between the players and the coaches are saying, "What are you doing?" So when they start having dysfunction, we as fans look at it and say, "Man, they ain't blocking. They ain't doing something."
Yeah,
they're saying on the sideline like, "Man, what are we doing?" And if you don't believe in what you're doing, y'all know this as people. If you don't believe in what you're doing, you're not going to do it well. Mm-hmm. So this is like and I'm saying it, boss, so the fans can understand and put it in simple terms. It's the same way on the football field. If you don't believe in what you're doing, regardless of what you're doing, when something goes wrong, you're going to throw your hands up and say, "Man, I don't want to deal with this."
Yeah.
So you got it. And I don't think Kellen, and that's why he's not a leader of men. That's why he doesn't get an interview. That's why he didn't get chosen for these interviews for head coaches, because you want to be a leader of men. And it's a travesty for your head coach to get up there and say, "I hope so. We need to. I'm not a big proponent of it. It takes too long. All the quarterbacks I had before didn't like it. I really don't like it for a lot of people to do it."
Yeah, so real quick. This is what bothers me, too, with what Coach is saying. Like, it's a whole lot of people noticing the bad body language. All right? So, like, Aisha Morrison last week talked about it on the Girls Talk, Boys Talk podcast. All right? So, one of the things, and you don't hear that many people talking about it, but one of the things she talked about in her film breakdown, Coach, one thing she talked about was how it was bad body language all over the offense. All over the offense. Let me try to go to it real quick and show y'all. But I'm talking about, I almost cried. That's her right there. Yeah. Miss Morrison talked about it. And everybody with like anybody that just have eyes can see it. You can see the go ahead, Coach.
Yeah. And see, now let me tell you how this is going to affect that. If everybody else is not on board with Kellen, and Dak is the only person on board with Kellen,
they gonna turn on Dak.
He gonna go down a rabbit hole, like I said months ago. And that's why I said this a long time ago. I said I hope some of Dak people hear this. I'm not saying you need to get rid of your friend, but you need to understand he may take you down a dark road that you will never come out of because you throw your whole trust into a guy that everybody else is saying, man, come on. And I've said this before. I think Dak and Prescott can go to another level, but I question, is Kellen Moore the right person to take him there?
Nope.
Everybody needs this. All the great quarterbacks had a coach that took them to another level.
He not that dude.
Name me a great quarterback that didn't have a great guy that could take him to the next level. Montana, Bill Walsh, we talk about a Breeze, Peyton,
right,
Marino, Don Shula.
You can't go to another level. You cannot go to another level as a Trojan horse. Only the coaches that can take you to another level is the only coaches that can take you to another level are coaches that's committed to winning. You can't be serving front office desires and serving Dak at the same time. That's just keeping it real. That's why you can't trust that Trojan horse. And honestly, that's why I want him out. I don't want him. I don't care how genius he is. I don't care how smart he is. This is the thing. You can't trust him. I can't trust you when you are the puppet that Stephen Jones and Jerry get to pretend to be coaches through. So Stephen stand up and he say, we just need to, get CeeDee Lamb the ball early. Man.
You know something? I was watching Lyle Collins, and I was watching him, and I'm not saying Lyle Collins played well, but I had to start thinking, I thought about this last night, and I was seeing how Zach Martin was, and I know they've been around for a long time, and how much they liked him, and the affection that Zeke had for him. Lyle Collins is not here because he probably spoke up about Kellen Moore too. Every guy on this offense who's not here, you can't tell me that they didn't speak up against. Listen, boss. Law probably gonna bring this out on Final Word because he did the next gen stats about it. You can't tell me a team that's 42-6 when they throw the ball over 30 times in a game since 2016 don't understand the running game is important to them. How many people out there say they wouldn't want to be 42-6?
Right.
So you can't tell me from 5 years of experience that they've been on this team and they can go back and say, man, when we had 30 attempts in a game, we had won out of 48 games that we ran the ball 30 times, we won 42-6. You can't tell me on that team, receiver or not, that they know that if we got to run the football. That's impossible. They don't know that. And when you go against that grain and try to do it another way, and we keep coming up unsuccessful, you can't tell me they're not saying that you are a dumb offensive coordinator and you don't know you are not a smart genius. 42-6. If they say analytics, I remember Cowboys was talking about they like analytics. If they love analytics is telling you since he's been there, you are dominant when you run the ball 30 times.
Yeah. And that just goes to show that they putting Kellen Moore over everything. It's just what it is. So
that means you care and you committed to saying that I'm right, and this young man cannot take this team. How you expect this guy that don't have experience, and then you bring McCarthy in for experience, but you're not utilizing experience. You really brought McCarthy in here for a stopgap till you felt that Kellen Moore was going to be the head coach.
Yep.
And I would tell you this: if they fire Mike McCarthy in some crazy way, that they hire Kellen Moore to be coach, you know they're going to go as long with Kellen Moore as they can because they want to be right. I would tell you right here,
and they want to control him.
And I would hurt. It may be the day I shed some tears because I don't think the Cowboys will win another Super Bowl while I'm on this earth.
Hold on, Coach. Real quick. Jabari said former OC Scott Linehan might have a very neat and potatoes basic offense. One thing that he stood for was running the rock with Zeke and play action. I never thought I would say this, but yeah, I miss Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan. I would rather be predictable and committed to the run than dynamic that can't change. Straight up. Hey, but Coach,
what was the biggest downfall for Jason Garrett? Now, people say Jason Garrett's biggest downfall was offense. It wasn't offense.
Yeah.
They never had a defense like this with Jason Garrett.
They had a good one in 2007, but for the most part, no.
And the one in 2007 was okay.
No, Coach, they had a nice D in 2007. That was a nice
2007?
D. Yes. That 2007 D had like 5 Pro Bowlers on it, Coach.
That's a year. That was after. That's when he first took over from Captain Crunch. I mean, Wade Phillips.
Yeah, I mean, potatoes. We're not gonna argue over semantics.
Okay, but other than that, when Scott Linehan got there, right? When Scott Linehan got there, they never had a dominant defense, and I have always said the defense was giving them was their downfall because I had the same questions about the defense that I had about the offense. I thought the defense was very soft, very unphysical for a long time. Because you had guys like Scandrick and all of them back there, the defensive back, and they wouldn't tackle nobody.
Yeah.
Right? So I said the defense was unphysical, and you had people like, you kept Jeff Heat back there. You kept, even Sean Lee was, when he was, going down, you still try to you let the linebackers get out of here because you wanted to keep Sean Lee on the team. You kept defensive lineman that you knew was about washed up, but you wanted to keep him because this was your guys, and you kept on rolling them out there, hoping Marinelli was going to come up with some secret potion that's going to come up, and it was a stale defense after a while because he refused to change with times, and he thought his defense, and I'm not saying, but he just kept running the same defense out there. So when we did have good offenses, we always came up short, or we always couldn't win the big game because we never could get a stop. Yesterday, I seen us get a stop in the fourth quarter with the Jason Garrett teams. If they would have got the ball down there, that drive would have ended up with a field goal. We would have got them off the field again. They would have been kicking a field goal. Right? Yeah. Now you got a defense. Play to your defense like all the rest of the teams in the NFL do when they have great defenses and they got 2 great running backs. I say it again, boss. Is Green Bay coaches smarter than us? They took their young receiving core and said, listen, we're going to put this game on the 2 best players we got on this team, which is our 2 best running backs. We're going to throw the ball to Cobb. We're going to throw the ball to the running backs. The rest of y'all guys, when y'all learn how to eat, after they get full, we may start getting y'all some passes, but we're going to run this ball. We're going to let Aaron Rodgers play action passes, and we're going to win this game easily because we're going to get out here and physically pound people. Here it is. We come into the game, we do it a couple of plays, and we think we're going to take Cooper Rush and get him in spread shotgun and still throw. He still threw the ball 31 times.
Man, that's crazy.
For 19 for 31. Listen, if your quarterback goes 19 for 31, do you think you threw the ball too much?
Oh, yeah, Jesus Christ. But, Coach, man, I appreciate it, man. I'm going to take some more calls because I've got a lot of people calling. I want to be courteous to the calls. We've been on a very long time. I really appreciate it, man. That was Coach Marv. So, my boy B. Purd is on the line. I want to get him and then others. Here we go.
Hello?
B. Bird.
Hey, what's up, boss?
What's up?
Hey, this is B. Bird.
Yeah, I saw where you called in. What's up?
Okay. No problem. One thing I wanted to comment on is, it's kind of hard for Mike McCarthy to be a leader of men in Dallas, With the Joneses in place, it's just kind of hard for that to happen. They're undercutting his power authority at all times. So it's just kind of hard for him. You thought, what up?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So the Joneses don't like bastards because they don't get no credit for them. They really only want guys they get credit for. So, you look at the difference between Amari and CD. They get credit for drafting CD. They get credit for his success. So that's why they're pushing him. He's probably had double-digit targets over the last couple of games too. Whereas Amari only had that about 3 times all last year. They're going to force the ball to him. So that's that. And then you talk about the media asking them tough questions. And that's a tough one now, boss, because people don't really understand how powerful the Joneses are in this Dallas sports market. If you piss them off, you can be around the job. And I think you understand that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, it takes some courage. And I guess you have to kind of finesse it to ask the questions that you want. But you can't really piss them off too much, man, because if you can't cover the Cowboys and you're a sports media person in this industry in Dallas, then what good are you? Nobody's going to really hire you. Jones not going to give you an interview if they don't want to fool with you a station because, the Joneses, you insulted them or anything like that. So, it's just kind of a hard deal. It's almost like, it's really tough, man. I don't envy the position that they're in, to be honest with you. As an independent person, you could do that. But with your livelihood, everything that's your house, your cars, everything that revolves around your job, and the Dallas Cowboys are a big part of that, it's kind of hard. You kind of walk on eggshells and live there for them. I kind of can understand what they're doing. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just can see that side of it.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was really impressed about yesterday is Cooper Rush only threw the ball to the tight end 2 times. I love that. I don't like our tight end being a focal point of our offense, which I think it is when Dax's in there. I think he looked to throw the ball to the wide receivers, which I appreciate. That's where your big plays are going to come from. That's where your chunk plays are going to come from. We've all known that our tight end Schultz is nothing special. So why are we even getting him? You don't need to be feeding him the ball 10 or 11 times. It's just not going to get the bang for your buck out of that. We can throw to him a few times for first downs or something, but I just don't like my tight end being the focal point of my offense. I thought last year was ridiculous that he had more targets than Amari Cooper. So that was just crazy, man, to me. And the last point I like to make, man, is that the special teams. One thing I want y'all to understand is that last year I was wondering why Bones Foster was going for punt blocks. And I was like, man, he's going to get us in trouble on that. Until I figured out, he kind of found a glitch in the system. So what he found out is that it's hard to get a rough in the kicker. They're calling running to the kicker. So if y'all notice this, I want everybody to notice this, that when a team is deep in their own territory and they have 10 or so yards to go, he's going to come aggressively at the punter. Because even if he hits him, then it's just going to be running to the kicker 5 yards. It won't be a first down. So I kind of caught that last year. He was doing that. And I don't know if other teams are caught up to that and start doing it too. But I thought it was a great idea because what I did, I also researched, okay, how many roughing kickers penalties in the whole league last year? And there's only 10 called in the whole league last year. It had like 3 times as many running into the kickers. It's only 5 yards. So what usually happens in that situation is the team just says, hey, we'll decline that and just take the ball away and attack. And so I think it's great. That's why we had so many block kicks last year because it's timed. He knew when to go after him, and he did a great job of that. We did it yesterday. And so, like I said, most of the time they're kind of running into the kicker now, man. They're just not kind of roughing the kicker anymore. And so I think Boston got a little glitch in the system on that one, man. I just want to throw those 2 things out, man. Tell you, man, I'm going to listen offline, man, because I got some things to do. But I continue to listen to you. Appreciate the show, bro.
All right, B-Bird. That was, yeah, man. What's up, DMV? Yeah, man, I'm chilling on it. So, yeah, I'm just getting back to all these calls. But, man, always good to hear from you, big dog. Bosscowboy Sports.
Boss, what's going on, man? This is Pastor Q, man. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, Pastor? What's going on?
I'm doing good, man. Good, man. Just thanks for taking my call, man. Just wanted to call in about the game and ask some of the stuff Coach Marr was saying, man. I want to find out what high school he coached at, man, because I'm from South Carolina, too, man. I think he's from my area.
Yeah.
But all that good stuff, man. But listen, man, I'm feeling real good because I think that, well, I hope that we can make a move with Peters and putting him on that line. Because if you keep Smith at tackle, put Peters at guard, that can help Biotis because now you got 2 Pro Bowlers showing up the middle, still played good yesterday, and just keep running that ball like they did yesterday. The defense is going to defense is going to be the defense. And what I really like is the fact that we got more horses coming, man. With the Gallup coming back, preferably James Washington, whether he gets back, man. But that game yesterday showed me that this defense we have is elite. It was 2 penalties that we had that allowed Cincinnati to get 6 points.
Yep.
You eliminate those 2 penalties, man, that game is not as close. And if Dalton Schultz don't fumble, you putting that game away. And that's not with a great offensive performance. So I'm just thinking about, just that. And I agree with what Coach Marvin you saying about Kellen Moore, man. I think that's the detriment of the team. But I think the only way that we're going to get him out is to have a successful season. If we have a successful season, he's going to be a head coaching candidate. And somebody has to pick him up. I don't think that you're going to have to throw the season to get him out of there, to be honest with you. Because it's too much riding on this season for the Joneses to prove themselves to be right. And I feel that just looking at what Philly's doing, tonight, which is I just think a one-off. And they're a good team, but we always know how division rivals are, man. We still got a shot, man. It ain't it's definitely not done. I do know that Washington and the Giants are better than advertised. But if we stay aggressive with the run and do play action, work them zones, man, because our defense is legit, like straight legit, man. I got so encouraged when I saw Trayvon Diggs make that tackle. I've never seen him tackle like that. And I was watching him the whole game, and he wasn't tackling like that. But on that 3rd down, he folded that dude up, man. And that showed me something. I think that the defense is going to take us, both.
Yeah.
That's what's going to do it, bro. What you think?
Yeah, we got an outstanding defense. I'm concerned about the offense. I'm concerned about the stubbornness of Kellen Moore. Because, yeah, we won the game running the ball, but we could have also lost the game because we stopped.
Yeah.
And that's so typical of Kellen Moore. And I don't trust him. I don't trust no Trojan horse. I don't trust nobody that's trying to play call for Stephen Jones. That's over here like, we surely did not target Amari on. I have zero trust for some guy who trying to please their boss. So, but I do like that the forces that's around him is trying to corral him. That's what I do like.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Yeah,
I like that
do.
Mike McCarthy smacked him.
Yoga fire.
I do like that.
Yeah, he did.
And that smack is why we won. That smack and being able to script the first 2 series to where we was committed to the run in the first 2 series.
Yeah.
So we need the pressure of a good division. But as long as we feel like, oh, we gonna just go 6-0 on our division, what's the incentive for us to make the proper changes? So I do like how the storm around us could mature Kellen more. I just feel like he's in a spoiled location to where he gets to do what he wants and he's not accountable to anybody but people that's covering for him. I think it's a bad environment for championships.
But then the truth is, Kellen Moore is not the problem. Then it's the Joneses,
right?
And that ain't, and we know that's not going to change.
Right. Exactly. That's why I say we need the environment.
But I think that I do agree with you. I think that has been the issue with the Cowboys. But I do think that if he, with the players that we do have, and with Mike McCarthy being like, I got nothing to lose because I'm like a lame duck no matter what, the more radical Mike McCarthy get, I think the better Kellen Moore be.
Yeah. Good point.
Because he got to do it.
Yeah.
He can't do nothing else. It's all psychological now. You know, it's really all psychological now. But glad they got a win. You know, glad they pulled it out. Whenever Dak get back, man, and you know, and hope that he elevates his play. But I think you put Peters on the offensive line, man, and you see what they're running off that left side, because you got 2 maulers, 2 bruises that nobody want to see, and you just you bully them. You just got to bully him with that run and hit that play action, man. And you're right, they did it the first half. They got to wait for it for a second in the third half, but when they went back to it, we were driving again.
Yeah. And see that, Pastor.
You know, and that, man, so.
Pastor, this is what get on my nerves.
Yeah, bro.
This is what get on my nerves. We all know the formula to win. That's what's so frustrating. That's the most frustrating thing, is we all know run the ball, play action, run the ball, play action, run the ball, play action. Kellen Moore does not do that. When you leave Kellen Moore to Kellen Moore, he does the opposite. When he got backup QBs, he would be second in pass attempts. He would come out and throw the ball with a backup 40 to 41 times. He has never yet gave Zeke and Pollard the runs that they should be getting. It just frustrates me that everybody from the rat to the cat know how to win except Stephen Jones, Jerry, and Kellen. Like Coach Marv said, if you know that when you get 30 attempts, you go win 90 to 95% of your games, why would you do anything outside of that?
Yeah, you're right. No, I think everybody sees it, man. I really can't attribute anything to him just being Boise State and just, you know, that's his natural tendency. That's the only thing I can attribute it to. But anybody that got any sense of intelligence would know that if the numbers say when you do this you win, then you keep doing that.
Yep.
You know, and so what I hope is, and I don't know if this will happen, man, but I hope some of the older Cowboys players will get in there and start talking to him. But I still feel this, and I said this the last week, man. They put Jimmy in that ring of honor, bro. I still believe that, bro. I still believe that. I think things will clear up when he gets in that ring of honor, man. Because you know, he deserves it. But in doing that, man, people will see, you know, the type of, I mean, just the honor that is due to somebody that really kicked this whole thing off for Jerry, man. And if he does that, man, I think this thing will lift because you do beat what you sow, man. You know, so just my 2 cents, dog. You know what you're doing, man. Keep doing it.
I appreciate it, Pastor. That was a good call. All right, that was Pastor Q. You too. Be blessed. Thank you. All right, so we got another one. We got somebody from Birmingham. Let's get Birmingham up in here. Yeah, here we go. Bosscowboy Sports.
Hey, Bosscowboy, what's up?
What's up?
How you doing? I make a quick comment, and maybe I need to ask you a question because I really have a hard time saying Kellen Moore. Let me ask you this question. Do you think that Kellen Moore is not just a good offensive coordinator, or do you just think he's inconsistent?
Do I think what?
Do you think he's inconsistent, or do you think he's a good coordinator?
I think he's a very smart guy, but I feel like we have the wrong power dilemma that doesn't give him fear to change. It's like, why would I fear Mike McCarthy as my boss when from day one, pretty much I've been your boss, Mike McCarthy. When Mike McCarthy got to say, I hope so.
Right. But see, the problem I've been seeing with Kellen Moore is really systematic and messing with my soul, and I'm gonna tell you why. He will call a good game like he called this Sunday, and then he'll revert back to the same old stuff that gets us in trouble in the first place. That's inconsistency. The thing is that he needs to understand that you don't have all your horses. And first of all, anyway, this double revert stuff, that shouldn't even be in a coach. That shouldn't even be in a playbook. They do that stuff in college and high school. So I don't understand. See, as Cowboy fans, we will want him to do good. Because maybe then he'll leave. You know, maybe nobody else agree with that. I want him to take us all the way to the NFC Championship. Then maybe somebody says, hey, we can use this guy. And then they get the same thing we got. I never agree with Kellen Moore being the offensive coordinator. But Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, this thing where I like you and we love you, we believe in you, and then we start calling people a genius, that's where we get messed up at. Yeah. Well, if he was so much of a genius, then we wouldn't be so stagnated on offense, and then we can't. Our defense can only do so much. Once they're out there on the field so long, then we get wore out. Why? Because we can't stay out there on third down, can't complete third down. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Bosscowboy. To be honest with you, that game should have been a blowout. It just should have been. But things happen. We make mistakes. We learn from it. Go to the field. We do what we do.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, so
that's pretty much what I had to say tonight. You're doing a hell of a job, Bosscowboy.
Thank you.
Man, listen, you are one of the true guys out here, like with Raj and Long. Y'all calling out this stuff. And see, we can't be as fans, we can't be so naive that we don't see what we see, bro.
Yeah.
And y'all point to that's what makes y'all great, man. And that's all I got to say for him.
Thank you, Uncle. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that. I love that was Uncle Charles, man. I love this comment by Virgo Lady K. She said Kellen could be a good OC. He needs to learn his players' strengths and adapt his scheme to fit them, not the other way around. Oh my. Give her some fire.
Yoga fire.
Very good comment. Yeah, landlord, he is from your hometown, Uncle Charles. So I noticed both of y'all got them Alabama numbers. We got to keep our eyes open though, Cowboy Nation. We do. Let's keep our eyes open, man. Like, listen, everybody go do content different. I know where I am. I know what I do. I know where I'm strong at. And I'm strong at listening, seeing the traps and the patterns that's tripping us up. And I know how to present it in an organized fashion. So after I do my part, the only thing I need is for the people to do theirs and share the content We just got to do our part of getting the word out there. I do love the fact that y'all shares are way up. I've been noticing that y'all sharing a lot on Twitter. I'm noticing y'all sharing the content on Facebook a lot. I'm seeing. So y'all starting to increase everywhere. Because I'm gonna be honest, you're not hearing too many people really talk about this, especially stuff like bastards versus sons. You know, people kind of scared. I'll be honest, people scared to kind of speak honest about the pitfalls that's trapping us up. And I understand why. As a business, let me tell y'all something. Cowboy fans don't want to hear stuff like this, man. They want to be optimistic. They want to hear, hey, we go win 6 and we headed to the Super Bowl. And
You want answers?
if you want answers, though, this is the place. Because I'm going to tell you straight up, even right after a W, you know, I'm going to do the film breakdown. I'm going to do the matchups and keys to victory. But if we don't tackle culture, if we'll be just like last year, win 12 games and Mike McCarthy be still up there begging, I hope we target Cooper. Yeah, and then you'll get bounced in the first round of the playoffs because nobody called them out on their toxic culture.
Yoga fire.
Nobody called out the real problems is treating certain players like bastards and others like sons.
Yoga fire.
So we gotta all do it. Some people not gonna do it. If you trying to work for the Dallas.com, you probably ain't gonna touch this. Cause you don't want to piss off Jerry and Steven. You want to ask them old softball questions, and you want to talk soft, and you want to talk surface. Yeah. And then Tyrone Church said, I'm glad Mike running his West Coast offense. Honestly, I don't think we running his West Coast offense. We just steal Tyrone and Kellen's offense. Yeah, we still in Kellen's offense, big dog. So anyway, man, I want to make sure I got to as many calls as possible. I think I did that. You know, y'all stay on the lookout for obviously more content that we gonna be presenting. You know, we got a lot of content coming this week. We got a lot of new stuff coming this week. So y'all definitely got to stay tuned to Bosscowboy Sports because, you know, obviously we increasing and we doing stuff different. We gonna be breaking out new stuff as the weeks come, and it's gonna be quality. We never go compromise quality for quantity. So since I ain't said it in a while, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. One of the missions and the biggest missions of Bosscowboy Sports is to bring solutions that can help us get closer to 6. And when I first started, I heard a saying that I felt like was the culture of what I wanted to represent on my channel. And what Mike Lombardi said was, never be devoted. Just be loyal. Never be devoted. Because a devoted person is going to tell you what you want to hear. They're not going to tell you what you need to hear. And he also said this, and this is what I love. He said, being devoted is the most unloyal thing you could ever do. So what you want to do is be loyal. Because a loyal person is going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And it's a lot of people, they still don't understand that that's the spirit of this channel. That when we talk about stuff like bastards versus sons, after a win, you need to hear it. It's not about what you want to hear. You need to hear it. Why? Because Stephen Jones showed a difference in treatment because he talked about it today. He talked about, let's get CD the ball. Let's get him the ball early. Let's get his confidence going. Let's get him in rhythm. But the other guy, where's our system? You know, That's why he didn't get his time. Well, you know, it's our system. And his OC was like, even after you target him, well, we surely didn't try to do that. So if I sit back and I say nothing, I'm a devoted fan, not a loyal fan. I'm just devoted. Now, if you just want to be devoted to the Cowboys, I'm going to just be honest with you. It's not the channel for you. It's not. But if you're a loyal Cowboy fan, this your channel. This your channel. Stay here. We're going to continue to get this sauce. We're going to continue to be very serious about ideas that's going to help us win. We're not going to compromise on that. We're not going to fear saying what's true. I don't fear telling this to Jerry. I wouldn't fear telling this to Steven. I would say it to him. Y'all saw me say this to Novacek. You saw me say this to Isaiah. I missed the super chat, dog. Hold on real quick. Let me see. Said I missed the super chat. I'm trying to find it. I don't see it, big dog. I don't see it. Hold on real quick. Yeah, I don't see it, dog. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Just put your comment in there real quick. Put your comment in there real quick. Common sense. Just go ahead and get in there so I can address it. But that's what I stand on. That's what the OC stand on. Everything that we talking about, it's about being loyal. Every time we call this stuff out, it's about being loyal. Because just like it was drama, even when we won 12 games, if you look close, Mike McCarthy's hands was tied. He was handcuffed going into the playoffs. He was powerless going into the playoffs. He was begging for Cooper to get the targets going into the playoffs. While we was, yeah, we finna win, the whole time we was getting ready to lose. The whole time. The whole time. Because it was dysfunction. It was politics. It was BS behind the scenes that was decreasing our chances of winning. So, I suggest we be loyal fans, not devoted fans. You not gonna ever hear me talking about positive energy and all of us thinking and being positive and coming together as the solution. Nah. You ain't gonna never hear me talk like that. If you trying to change a flat tire, you got to get on your hands and knees and start changing them lug nuts. You not go hope that tire to get better. You got to get to work, baby. So let's get to work. Let's get to work. Let's share the content. Let's put the word out there. My boy Landlord, put it out there. When you share this content, let's take another step. Hashtag FreeBigMike. I got that from Landlord. Just like I got no ID from Tuck. If it's something that makes sense, I ain't gotta be the person that came up with it. I just like it. It makes sense to me. Free Mike McCarthy. And let's keep our eyes open. Let's keep our eyes open. That's the most important thing. I didn't talk about Amari Cooper just because I miss him. At this point, he's gone. I ain't gonna spend too much time on that. He gone. But I talked about the difference of Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb because we got some new Amaris and CeeDee Lambs on this team. And we got to keep our eyes on it, man. We got to be very careful. And we got to be very watchful that politics is not trying to rear its ugly head, which could hit us right in our mouth. So free Big Mike. Free Mike McCarthy. Because I think Mike McCarthy honestly got what it takes. I'm not capping. I've been listening to Mike. Mike talk with a lot of common sense. He the one talking matchup football. Not Kellen, not Steven. It's Big Mike. So let's get his back. The best way to get his back, share the content, free Big Mike. And I would say put your own commentary on it. Let people know exactly where you stand. Are you with Kellen more or are you with Big Mike? I'm with Big Mike. But y'all stay up. It's Bosscowboy Sports. Peace.
Bosscowboy Sports, where your voice matters.
Free Big Mike, baby.
Bosscowboy Sports.
Free Big Mike.
Yoga fire.